and live a better life in this material world, feel better about themselves, and be happy, and so on. And for those seminars, again, people will spend good money. How they can be physically more fit, feel better, look better. Be full of life and vitality for a happy stay in this material world. For that, people are eager, and such speakers will be popular and respected and be written up in Times of London. But that's not what we're interested in here. Here is how to ditch our material life, how to get out of it, not how to make it better. How to mrityo, it ends in death. It's a lost cause. I increase my bottom line and then leave it behind. Bottom line is that they put you in the grave and you get eaten by the worms, or they burn you and you turn to ashes, or they throw you to the vultures and you become vulture stool. Or you can die in the middle of the desert somewhere, become like Alakasura. I read a description someplace of soldiers who died in Saudi Arabia. Their bodies were left on the battlefield and they became like, dried banana chips and dried fruit, desiccated, just dried up paper. That's what was left of them. It just became dried up. I suppose they eventually just turned to sand. That's where the body's going. However much money you make, however good you get at sex, that's where you go. So that's what means it's a lost cause. Happiness based on the body. That's ultimately where it goes. And before that, you get to enjoy old age. Would you like your porridge, Mr. Jamison? It's very good. How about just a little spoonful, Mr. Jamison? That's right. Dribble, dribble, dribble. He was one of the biggest earning tycoons in the city of London. And it comes to this. Those who will benefit from the most from hearing are those who want to get free from these miseries, birth, death, disease, and old age, and who want to be transferred to the actual position. Jigyasu Shreya Uttama. Those who are inquisitive about the real goal of life, the real benefit of life.
If there's 24-hour kirtan for Vrindavan, then how does the kirtan continue when the animals and Vrajavasis have come to sleep? How does the...
If there's 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan, how does it continue when Vrajavasis go to sleep? They chant in their sleep. There's always somebody awake. You read in the last chapter, 10th canto, how the queens were speaking to the moon, to the osprey, you're still awake, you must be feeling separation. Otherwise, why aren't you sleeping?
Marge, there's a question on we wanted to ask, like, you had a anything goes question and answer session, and you know, sometimes people ask you about taking disciples and stuff. I'd like to ask you about what's how would you describe relationship between a disciple and his grand disciple, guru and his grand disciple, like you know, Prabhupada's disciples and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, or obviously you guru yourself, and having a disciple who is a guru and his disciple. So what's like the...
What's difficult to understand?
Well, it's just where it's like
you have a grandfather?
Is like that?
Mm.
So, like...
your father, his father, his father, his father.
Yeah.
Spiritually.
Like, you take instruction from your guru, but you take instruction from the guru of your guru as well? Like, how do you... What's the...
Your guru gives instructions that he got from his guru.
Mm-hmm. And you follow both? Or what's the priority like?
What's the difference?
What's the difference? What's the difference?
Your guru means that he's representing the whole succession. So by hearing from your guru, you're hearing from his guru, his guru, his guru.
Mm-hmm. So it's all the same? Like,
And that's the meaning of guru. He has to represent the parampara. Not that he presents something different.
And does it answer some people's question who, you know, sometimes ask you, why don't you take more disciples? That because you have a disciple as a guru, so he's taking disciples. And so it's basically the same.
It's better. They get a better deal.
Oh.
It seems that is not necessarily to be equated with realizing one's spiritual identity, because it seems that the impersonalists, they transcend the modes, but they're in a different form. Can you say something about that?
Sagunam Samititartam Brahmabhujaya Kalpate. Transcending the modes of material nature when it comes to the Brahmabhuta platform, spiritual platform. I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. Brahmabhuta Prasanatma Nashochati Nakangshati. One becomes joyful, one becomes freed from anchoring in lamentation. Samasarveshu Bhuteshu, sees all living beings equally. Manbhaktin Vavateva. Then the postgraduate stage, to engage in the devotional service of Krishna. Comes the higher stage. Preliminary stage is to understand I'm Brahmasmi, I'm spirit soul. The next stage is I'm spirit soul, now what do I do with spirit soul? What are my spiritual activities? Nice devotional service.
I'm wondering if at the end of Kali Yuga there will be any devotees still, anybody who will...
Are you planning to stay?
No. It's because of our service. I'm wondering if at the end of Kali Yuga there will be anybody remembering Narayan.
No, practically not. Those who, if there's anybody left, they'll just be way out in the forest. Mm-hmm. Just a few waiting for such a yuga to kick in again.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're all blind devotees. There's nothing that can be done with them except cultivate the common. Knock them off. And then they get liberation.
Okay.
So what about those people who are waiting for Satya Yuga to kick in? Like
Mhm.
people who stay to wait for Satya Yuga to kick in, because this whole
Don't even think about it.
what's wrong with it?
It's a long time. You don't want to be around. And it gets really, you haven't seen anything yet. Kali Yuga is just getting rolling. You don't want to stay.
No preaching.
No, at the end of the age, there's no one to preach to. They're animists.
Oh.
They're savages. There's no question of preaching. Even Kalki finds them useless to preach to. Forget preaching, just kill it.
So why will some people still stay? Why will some people still stay?
Krishna's arrangement, some few sages will stay to start things. You have to keep population going. So there's some.
It will be very elevated, devotees who can do something, or very the worst devotees, and a few very elevated who can do something.
As I recall, you find
the
in
most
described in 12th canto, as I recall, there were some few sages who were left way out in the forest. There was someplace. But again, don't go looking for that service.
It's not good.
We're advised to get out.
We also had a discussion in our spiritual council meeting that yes, we were advised to get out, but in the spiritual world, everyone wants to come back to preach.
Not everyone wants to come back.
Well, not everyone. But preaching is okay.
Those who Krishna wants to come, they come. It's not that everybody's feeling separation from the material world. Oh, the preaching was so good there, I'd never get back.
So was the original reason that from the all the spirit souls are basically from the spiritual world? So what's the reason that they came in the material world
Not
in the
for
first
preaching,
place?
I can tell you that.
So was there some reason that
We think it's going to be fun here. We think we have a good shot at enjoyment. That we can be independent and enjoy, separate from Krishna. That's what we're doing here. How's it working? So. Yeah, the optimist could be worse. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, not so bad.